about that bourbon and them other shiny things. The smoke hangs heavy around the room, the glasses start to clink. Our trouble's drifting down the drain. I try my best not to think. Just the sound of my good buddies laughing at the joke. The stories flowing from our lips beneath the bourbon smoke. Yeah, the Thursday night blues are calling my name. Pour another glass, put out the work week's flame. Got the boys on the TV screen talking about that bourbon and them other shiny things.
I do a double check on my number.
T.H. Scotty?
Yep.
Rick Miller?
Yep.
Gary?
Hold on here. Hold on before we do all this.
Now some folks chase the money, some chase a different kind of thrill. But all I want on a Thursday night is to let this old heart be still. Just a little bit of amber liquid and a few good souls to share. Knowing come tomorrow morning we'll still be standing there. Yeah, the Thursday night blues are calling my name. Pour another glass, put out the work week's flame. Got the boys on the TV screen talking about that bourbon and them other shiny things. Yeah, Bourbon and Ballz, pouring out that bourbon till the bottle's gone. And the Friday sun rises. That's a Thursday night blue. I'm drinking with my friends. Yeah, we know it's early, but we can't wait for the weekend. We're in a hurry, cause we're thirsty again, but we're not worried when we're saying what we mean and what we meant. Honest camaraderie is something like the lottery. So all I ask and all I need are years of making memories. So keep on chasing highs, it's so damn easy, don't think twice. Chasing highs. Another birthday and you spotted some gray ends, but nothing changes cause you know how Thursdays spend. You had the worst day and you needed time to vent, so you call the boys up and you'll see them every day. Honestly, camaraderie is something like the lottery. So all I ask.
Oh my God, that's Weller. Knows that. Good God. Man, he just something died. Holy,
That's bad. What did they feed him today, dude? I thought you. Oh,
good. You can't even breathe here. Oh, it's gonna throw a nosing off. Oh my god, I can't even.
I can reach out. That could be one of our things we do. You know, we're talking about doing these commercials or these ads or these videos for these different products. I can reach out to a manufacturer that makes it today, get one, and you do the video. And sit there and go, oh, fuck. I'm riding the bike and going,
Put the glitter in my hand. I'm starting to become immune to press. This doesn't even bother me anymore.
that's right.
Oh.
I'm like, that smells pretty good.
Yeah, we know it's early, but we can't wait for the weekend. Let's get on with the show with you all, with our friends from Bourbon and Ballz. Enjoy the show and have a great weekend. Hey! Keep on chasing highs.
There's shit everywhere. Way to go, Ashley.
All right, we are on. We are live, and see what happens here. So, if you notice the screen, Chad is not with us. So, obviously, our executive producer, who's not producing the show tonight, I'm going to go back to producing for tonight, and then we will go back to our regular scheduled program. Actually, not even next week. We're going to be on Tuesday of next week instead. Is it next week?
No.
2 weeks.
Oh, okay, crap. Never mind. So we should be okay next week.
You're too excited.
I am too excited for Spillway. So anyway, so so Tyler's got to fill in, and Jeff is still getting situated over there. But
you mansplaining over here, and I can't. Here we go.
so, anyways, that being said, welcome, nevertheless, to another episode of Bourbon and Ballz. We have some exciting news to go over later on today. Well, I always get excited about anything, so it may not be excited to you as much, but nevertheless, it's news. And then we have a special guest on tonight. We have Zach Hargis over from Western Kentucky Distilling, which surprises me because we'll talk about it more when he gets on here. As I didn't realize that they did what they did as far as the offerings, and we'll get into more of that here in a bit. Tyler, if you want to take over, I had to take the dog out. So I need to go get the dog. I know this is kind of weird to say on the live stream, but anyways, Tyler, if you want to say hello to chat, I'm going to get the dog real quick.
Yeah. So, cheers, Dave Vogelsang. Let's see. Cheers, David Tanko. Cheers, Stan. Dave Renstrom, cheers. Cheers, Zach McCormick.
There we go. And moving on to cheers to okay, there we go. Ashley McAdore, who's the winner of our pregame tonight. So, and we get we're just going to bring that to Spillway, by the way. If you want to mark that as such, we'll bring it to Spillway when we see Harold and Ashley here in a couple of weeks. Moving on, sweet Lisa. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming on and joining us. Let's see here. Mr. Brian Callahan, thank you for coming on, as always. Cheers to you. Let's see. Renstrom, I'm not sure if we said cheers to you or not, but if not, if we did, then double cheers to you. Mr. Jay Cornett, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Which reminds me, when I see somebody's name in the chat, it reminds me of something. I want to say it. More than halfway through the deliveries of the Old Rick pick, a lot of them has already been packaged. What I'm doing is I don't want to overwhelm or cause any kind of issues at the UPS store, so I'm just dropping off 3 or 4 a day, and I'm working myself outside inward from the left coast.
I can see her going a little crazy.
Well, that, and I don't want to like stick out like a sore thumb, so
right.
I don't get them all the bottles at once. So anyways, for those who are still waiting for your Old Rick, everybody should have a tracking number no later than probably Saturday, and then everybody should have it in their hands probably by the early week, Monday, no later than probably Tuesday. And then once everybody does that, if you guys want to, let us know in the chat. If you guys want to have like a special Google Meets, we can all crack it open together if that's not something that you guys are interested in. But anyways, I saw a few people's name that he did the barrel pick. I wanted to say something about that. So, all right, moving on. Let's see here. Cheers to Husky Dog. Cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Whiskey Bill, thanks for coming on. And you're one of those people, many people who did the barrel pick on the Old Rick. Matt Bukowski, cheers to you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. West Virginia Bourbon Guy, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks as always. And as usual, sorry, if you have a channel, please explain that into the chat and let other people know when you're on, along with your link. I say that because West Virginia Bourbon Guy is on at 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday nights on YouTube, so you could check him out. All right, moving on. We have Darren, or better known as Duran. Cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for. It's funny. His name came up the other day. I think Darren. I think you won something the other day from a different channel, and I was talking to the guy on the. I forget who it was. Maybe it's West Virginia Mike. Maybe I don't know who it was. And they said, yeah, I got to mail packages today. I'm like, okay, who you got to mail to? I was curious, right? He said, I got to mail Duran his package. And I started laughing. I said, you realize it's Darren. Like, it's not Duran. And I forget who it was, but and I said, I told that person how you emailed us one time and said that you and your wife get a chuckle out of doing the Aaron bit. So anyways, Duran, we should do that one channel. I don't know if I'm that good at it. If we could just do that in the whole entire chat and just mess it all up. But I don't know if I'm that talented to do that. So Keith, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Moving forward here, we also have Jenny Bakowski. Cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Yes, hashtag pregame. Now that it's over, you guys can now do hashtag WKYD. If you guys want to get in to the hashtag game, and I think we're going to run this a few times tonight because he was graciously enough to give us these bottles, so we're going to sample them out more than usual. But nevertheless, make sure you get your WKYD in, and there'll be other opportunities throughout the show to win these samples. CA Scotty, cheers to you. I'm glad you're back on land. As always, Mr. Tom Black, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Looks like he's sipping on some wild turkey. Mr. Bob Guthman, the OG. That was fun last week, by the way. You guys had a week off, right?
Yeah.
What was it like from watching from the cheap seats?
It was okay.
It's different though, right? I mean, because it's been quite a few months.
Yeah.
If not a long time.
Right. So yeah, it went real good. I think Bob and Beth did really well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but
yeah.
I'd imagine for you it's a little different.
Yeah,
you're sitting there watching the Bourbon and Ballz show from your phone, and you're sitting at home.
I was sitting there.
A little surreal.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice relaxing.
Well, hopefully not too nice.
No.
So, anyways, all right, very good. Rick Moreland, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Mr. Chris Blankenship, thank you for joining us. And I met up met up with him at New Riff for about 10 minutes this afternoon. I had to run out there. I had to sneak out of work. And then, well, work's not watching. But anyways, but no, I tried
Don't worry, I'll tell him.
19. Oh, yeah, shit, you work with me. Never mind.
He's never there anyways.
So, anyways, no, I tried a 19. I tried a 1960 something, and you can put it in the chat, Chris. 1960 something, Old Crow.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was good. I tasted history.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that the Fred Minnick book topic? Yep.
Yeah. So it was badass bottle, by the way. Really, really cool. It was like when you were touching it and looking at it, it's really cool because you kind of knew you were tasting and actually looking at history with that Old Crow bottle.
Wow.
Chris had that, or wow, nice.
Sure did. I don't know how you got a hold of it. I forgot how you got a hold of it, but it was a pretty cool experience. So thank you, Chris, and nice meeting your family. I hope your family is all well and good now. They're all fed and hopefully stowed away, and you can enjoy the show. Stowed away like they're, I don't know.
Cargo.
What. Thank you. Elijah Craig, cheers to you. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Suzanne.
That's a new one.
That's a new one.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Mr. Sean Conlon, S. Conlon 9. Thank you, brother. Your packages went out today, so hopefully you can watch it track throughout its journey down to you, and hopefully you'll be happy with our pick as we are. Mary Moreland, cheers to you. Hope things are well for you. I know Rick has said a few things too, and thoughts and prayers to where you're at and things as far as health and recovery. So cheers to you. John Shank, cheers to you. Hope your new job is going well. I think you're on day 2 or day 3.
Nice.
Well, let's hope you still have it. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you do, but hope you're enjoying it. Patrick Little Dude, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you as always. Mr. Scott Gallagher, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you coming on. Let's see, rolling through here. We have you guys doing the hashtag game now, which is appreciative. Again, it's hashtag WKYD. If you guys could do that. I'm not sure if I said hello to Stan Sabick. I'm sure I did.
I think you did. Yep.
Yeah. So cheers to you, and whatnot. Dooley, you know what? You're becoming a regular, my friend, and I appreciate you becoming a regular here at the Bourbon and Ballz. Hope you like the content. Hope you like the interviews. I know we do, and we have a brand new one tonight too. So, anyways, David B, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Keith Miller. Thank you for coming back again once, as usual.
Did you get Rick Orland?
I did, because I was
Okay.
talking about his wife.
Okay.
As far as health and speedy recovery and whatnot. So yes. So Keith Miller, cheers to you, buddy. Thank you for definitely coming on. All right, here. I think we're getting to the end. Crappy Cat, cheers to you. Thanks for coming on. As usual. Bourbon on Jared, nice.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. We were just talking about you this evening. I was in a conversation that I will mention later that I told Jeff when I got home, I said, hey, remind me to tell you the story, but I want to tell it live.
Okay.
So anyways.
Another surprise.
Well, no, I want to get you I don't know about your natural reaction. I mean, you're not going to whatever, but plus I don't have to repeat the story twice.
That's fine.
So Miss Taylor Mabry and Miss Ella, cheers to you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. East Coast Whiskey Sipper, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. And I believe you can catch him, or maybe I'm getting my people mixed up. No, on IG, if I remember that right. All right. Nevertheless, moving forward, we also have, I think, everything done. Matt Simmons, some of the best bourbon and rye around. You know what? We're about to find that out. Truth be told, we've had Silk Velvet at our tasting.
I can't remember if I had the small batch or the single barrel.
We had the blue label.
It was a blue
So
label.
this one was the one we had at our tasting.
Yes.
Okay.
But
You sure?
yes, the small
Okay.
batch select.
And
Well,
what in the world was that?
Nothing. Just keep going.
Was that glass?
No, it's fine. Nothing broke.
He's up here one day and he's already breaking something.
Yes, you have one job. Just so, anyways, all right, moving on. So we'll talk more about that. Tamara Adams, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Let's see here. Snow Baboon,
Alan Adam there.
cheers. Thanks for coming on. Let's see here. Alan Adams, yes, cheers. Thanks for coming on. Chrissy Romine, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Gerald Romine, cheers for you. Thanks for coming on. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, or we will see you in a couple of weeks down at the old Spillway. It's our first time going down there, by the way.
You going, Tyler?
I am not.
You're not? Okay.
I will not be at this one.
Well, I say you call off sick is what I think. No one will ever know. So, all right. Barry, hey, Brady.
Hey,
Barry
Barry.
Brennan's in the house. Zach Hargis is the man. Yes. And Barry was on our show
A couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, yes. Thank you for showing up once more. And feel free to get along with the chat. They're not too, they're easy to get along with. They're all nice. They don't bite. Anyways, that being said. Hey, Matt, just real quick, the WKYD and Facebook, I don't think it's going to work. I think you got to come over to YouTube in order for it to work. I'm almost positive of that. So any kind of hashtag, I don't think works in Facebook. I don't think it picks it up. It's not connected.
Have to look.
I don't think it collects.
Okay.
That's my, yeah, I don't think it does. Tracy Yorkie, cheers to you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, here. I think we're getting to the end. Of course, I say that every time. Show me the proof. Cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it as always. David B, great meeting you, Tyler, and seeing Charlie again at Cox Creek Distillery. Man, that was fun.
Yes.
And that was your first experience, your real experience at, well,
Where was that at?
Cox Creek.
Mm.
Cox.
Yes, exactly how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Even they say Cox.
You said Cox the first time. You see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bortner, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. The Hemingway is a good pour. Killing Mine not that long ago. Yeah, the Hemingway. Again, I want to learn more about that, and I'm happy to bring them. We're happy to bring them on. Whiskey Nose, Marty. He's going to be on in a few weeks. I think we're going to do a special blind, by the way.
Yep.
Nice.
TBD. So I guess that's the whole purpose of doing a blind.
Usually is. Yeah.
Yes, right. So we don't know what it is and whatnot. So I'm excited to do that. Peter White, cheers to you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it as always. And now we are caught up, I believe. Anything else, Jeff, before we bring our guest on?
No, not yet.
I know we got some news, but
We
we'll
got
wait
some
for.
news later, but yeah, we'll hold on to it.
Okay. All right. Very good. So without further ado, let's bring on Zach Hargis from Western Kentucky Distilling.
Hey guys, happy to be on and glad you invited me on today.
We do want to give a shout out to Chris Blankenship for getting this coordinated, and also a special thanks to Gandy Road for being the mule that he is.
Yep.
Yes.
But nevertheless, we're excited to have you on. I got to be honest with you. I'm at least for me, I'm pleasantly surprised. I did not know you guys were behind on some of these offerings, right? Yeah. So why don't you explain to the viewers at home about Western Kentucky Distilling as far as who you guys are, how you guys came to be, and definitely your SKUs may surprise a few people.
Yeah, so Western Kentucky Distilling, we broke ground in November of 22, and then 9 quick months later, we were up and running and distilling our first batch in July of 23. So probably the fastest distillery that I think has ever been built, to be honest with you. So
You might be right.
But a little bit about the distillery. We sit in Beaver Dam, Kentucky, kind of about 30 minutes south of Owensboro, 30 minutes north of Beaver Dam. And then we're sitting on, we're in 1,100 acres, and we own about 81 of those acres in the very back of a very beautiful countryside right off the highway. The distillery, we have a 36-inch Vendome copper still, 15 fermenters, a total capacity of about 55,000 barrels a year. And then we've got 6 warehouses right now that store about 16,200 barrels apiece. So right now we have a little over 70,000 barrels that are aging on site as we speak. The biggest thing is, building a distillery that big that fast can't happen unless you know what you're doing. So the good news is, the team of Western Kentucky Distilling, even though the distillery itself is just getting into 3 years old, the team has actually been together for over a decade. And that runs with our main man, our head honcho numero uno, Jacob Call. And for those that have been around the block, that name probably rings a bell. Jacob Call was employee number 1 and resurrected the now Green River Distillery there in Owensboro, Kentucky. He was the only one crazy enough to take on that task. Before that distillery, it was known as the Medley Distillery. And then even before that, the Green River Distillery. But the Medley Distillery had been sitting for about 20 years, and every big alcohol company looked at that site and said, "Nope, too far gone. Can't do anything about it." But a group called Terracentia had bought that property, and then asked Jacob to come along. And like I said, I think he was the only one crazy enough to do it. But what an actual task that he was given, and he hit it out of the park. So some will know that as O.Z. Tyler Distillery back then, which is the most misunderstood distillery in all of bourbon. And we can get into that in a little bit. But, so he was employee number 1, and mainly the whole team that is at Western Kentucky now started with him at that distillery. So we've actually, every single person. So we have all been together through all the O.Z. Tyler years, bringing the historic name of Green River back to DSBKY 10, relaunching the Green River Bourbon. And then, a lot of people also know know what happened there. There was a buyout, private equity, Bardstown Bourbon Company bought us all out. And then, so Jacob, throughout his time, loved it there, but he was also, a lot of the stuff that was happening was told to him. We are going to do this. We're going to do this. And he decided, you know what, I'm done with people telling me what to do. I'm going to do this myself. And so he left after the buyout, and him and our current president, J.D. Edwards, those two with a couple other partners built up Western Kentucky Distilling, and man, we're having a blast over there right now. We've got whiskey now aging 3 years, is about to turn up, and we're really happy with how everything is turning out so far.
Well, I bet. So to go back for a minute, I just wrote down little notes here. So you guys are in Beaver Dam. Believe it or not, I stay at the Beaver Dam Hotel.
Nice.
Well, not nice, because I only stayed there for about a half an hour, and I checked in, and ain't gonna lie, it was not what I was accustomed to. And I grabbed my bag, and I kept on going down to Owensboro. I was on a barrel pick down at Green River, and I was tired. I was like, I'm gonna stop at the first hotel closest to it. And I stopped at the Beaver Dam Hotel, which, mind you, that's the only damn hotel around the place. And I went in there and got my keys, and I didn't lay my bag down. I got into my room, and I'm like, nope, ain't staying here. And then I turned back right around and went back down to Owensboro. But so I don't know how big is Beaver Dam to begin with. I must have missed you all, obviously.
Yeah, so it's about 3,000 people in the city. Well, I think even in the so Beaver Dam, Hartford are the so we're in West Central Kentucky, and we're out there in a peaceful countryside. Beaver Dam's a beautiful town, great people there. They welcomed us with open arms. Ohio County have been great to us on, getting everything up and running. So yeah, the hotel could, but but
you can use an upgrade.
a little bit, but like I said, I mean, the town has been absolutely lovely to us, and so if you were at that Huck's, if you know, on the highway when you were getting into Beaver Dam, that gas station in the center of the highway, if
Yes,
you were to stop there, you would.
I had to stop there and get some caffeine. Yes,
Gotcha.
You're right.
Yeah, so we were where if you would have looked across the road, you would have seen us right up on the hill. So yeah, can't miss us. Yeah.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I know exactly where you guys are at. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about your guys' offerings, which we greatly appreciate. Again, guys out there, a few things. If you guys have questions for Zach, again, for easier for us to read through the chat, you could begin with the letter Q and then go ahead and ask away for your questions, and we will get them on air for you. But in the meantime, it is hashtag WKYD for the first set of samples for you guys to win, and we'll roll that after we do this interview. But nevertheless, Zach, these offerings that we have in front of us, if you have a preference for us to try in whatever order, we're definitely we'll do that.
Yeah, it's really up to y'all. You know, the WKYD are that one is the highest proof of the three, so we can either start with that or go last. And then the Silk Velvets are 107, and then we obviously have the Hemingway Rye there at 102 proof as well.
All right, we'll do that. Have you guys always done the Hemingway Rye? Because I never knew it to be you guys.
Yeah, so that is another Jacob Call. So I'll give a little history of Jacob and then kind of get into the Hemingway Rye as well. But Jacob's family is an 8th generation distilling family. So if you go back, you can take his lineage all the way back to 1791. So Whiskey Advocate did an article on the oldest whiskey families in America. You had the Beams, you even had the Russells, a couple others, but the Calls were right there. So one of the fun parts of during COVID, doing some genealogy and on the Call family, and found this guy named Samuel Call, like I said, that came to Kentucky 1791, ended up started distilling. And then we know that we have records of the stills he had, the fermenters he had. And then also there was this really funny part that he was in a lawsuit with a guy named Elijah Craig.
Nice.
So the lineage, goes back a very long way. Get into more recent time. His granddad worked at Jim Beam. His dad worked at Jim Beam right under Booker No. Jacob tells stories about them going on fishing trips and all kinds of good stuff. And then his dad left Jim Beam, went down to Florida Distillers, started doing more rum and everything. Jacob joined his dad down there in Florida, and that's where he kind of cut his teeth on distilling and everything else until he was tasked with resurrecting the Owensboro site. So it's that family history, that family legacy that's a part of this Hemingway Rye. So it's 3 different families. It's the Groth family. You might know that name from Early Angels Envy. And then you have the Hemingway family, who's a part of this, obviously. And then you have the Call family in this. So this is not only, this is kind of 3 families coming together to create this rye, and Jacob and his dad, and then Jacob's brother Clay, they are a really big part of this. And Jacob distills part of the rye mash bill on this. They also do some other expressions of this Hemingway Rye. This particular rye in 2023 hit top 20 whiskey in the world by Whiskey Advocate and was the highest ranked rye of that year. So it's a mixture of 90% Indiana rye, 95.5, and then 10% Kentucky rye, 95.5 as well. So at 102 proof. And yeah, I'm going to join y'all in.
No kidding, right? Blend of straight rye whiskey finished in rum seasoned Oloroso sherry.
Yeah, and that's the part I missed. And so, part of that too is, Jacob's dad is really big into the finishings and all that, from his time in rum. He also is a part of the Papa Pilar, so it's that finishing, his dad kind of brought in, with Jacob, distilling. And this is just for a rye. It's not, too hot, too spicy or anything. It's just well balanced. The nose on this is just fantastic.
Yeah, the nose is very good. I noticed. I mean, it's kind of sweet,
Mhm.
And I think that's the sherry, the wine.
Yeah, it is kind of
It's
sweet.
kind of got a dry.
I do like the rye spice on this,
Yeah,
for sure. And no, this is well done.
yeah. It's got a nice rye. Like I said, like a nice rye spice on it. But like I said, that finish is more kind of like a dry wine kind of
Yep.
finish for me.
And sticks around too. That's the other good part. I mean, it just
Oh,
you're chewing on it.
Oh,
Okay. And then what does something like this run, Zach?
So that one right there runs, I believe, $70. It's $70 or $80. Sorry, I don't have that one in front of me.
No, I mean, it's a 6-year rye, 95.5 basically.
Yep. And
But nevertheless, this is really good.
and that is available nationwide. You can find that in basically any liquor store that chain, grocery, whatever. You'll be able to find that pretty regularly.
So, and this is a blend of sourced whiskey or sourced rye, right? Correct.
Yeah, so 90% of it is Indiana rye. The other 10% is all rye that Jacob made in Kentucky in Owensboro. Mhm.
Okay.
No, definitely job well done.
Mhm.
So guys, if you guys are wondering where we stand on this one, I definitely do believe this is a really good rye. So job well done, well constructed.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, very well done.
I think the only other time I had this, and I think it was like 2 years ago at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. It's where I first.
Yep, that's where I had it too.
Yeah.
Yep, very good.
well, that Pilar rum that I brought back from Florida was finished in Hemingway barrels.
Oh, really?
Hemingway rye barrels. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to bring it over.
All right. The next one I would imagine would be the light blue label. Would that be the best way to do it?
Yeah, that'd be fine. So this is so I myself, am the director of new fill and warehousing at Western Kentucky Distilling. But I've kind of got a dual role. So I'm also president of Silk Velvet Whiskey. And this brand is made in a collaboration with Jacob Call, as you'll see on the side of the label, Jacob being there. So it was at that time in 2020, kind of, during COVID, my father found these old bottles, these old labels, and he's very into antiques and all that good stuff, and invited me over and said, hey, you got to check out all this old memorabilia that I've found from Henderson, and that's where I live currently, born and raised, and still live here today. And so I came over and he started showing me these old glass, this old beautiful baby blue label, these old documents and all, and just started saying, this is awesome. We've got to dig into this more. And so over the next couple days and weeks, we started digging into the history of this and really fell in love with the story. So this was a pre-prohibition brand that dates back to 1880, started by a guy named Colonel A.S. Winstead. The story, and I'll give the short version because there's a lot of history and a lot of fun stuff in it, but married a lady named America Worsham, and her family was a distilling family. And he started learning all the ropes from his family. So he started getting so good at it that they started to say his bourbon was smooth as silk. And so after a while, he got so good that he decided to leave the family distillery and go start his own. And start his own he did. He built one of the nicest distilleries in all of Kentucky. We have records of every single piece of equipment he had in that distillery. and the very first order he had for that was for 5,000 barrels to New York. So we're talking 1880. It took him 3 months to run it, and you know, that'll kind of show you kind of how big he was. His the brand, they grew it, you know, so they called it Silk Velvet because of that. You know, everybody's saying it was smooth as silk. The brand actually grew national, and he brought his sons into it as well. So the Colonel and 2 sons, and then grew it up. But unfortunately, the Colonel ended up becoming in bad health and gave it to his oldest son. And then the Colonel ended up passing away. His oldest son that was taking it over grew it even more. But unfortunately, he succumbed to some sickness, and then 2 big events happened: a fire, and then that big nasty word prohibition hit. And so, because of the fire and the health of the family and all, there was nobody there to pick up the label or the brand once prohibition was repealed. So the other fun part about that, his wife's family, that distillery was sold to a guy named Henry Craver, and that ended up becoming the Peerless Distilling Company. So you had in Henderson, you had the Winstead Distilling Company, which made Silk Velvet, and the Peerless Distilling Company. And really, Silk Velvet, the Winstead Distillery, was the biggest of the 2. But you know, as we know, Corky Taylor was able to, you know, carry on his family lineage and bring that back. They also had medicinal through, but it was the health of the Winsteads that, you know, so it was that 2020 finding all the bourbon, all these old labels and all, that we actually, you know, got back in our graces. And so I came to Jacob. I said, Jacob, we've got this beautiful baby blue label. We've got this awesome story. I really think this needs to be brought back. The only problem is, you know, we need good whiskey, and of course he's like, I got you there. So it you know, he jumped on board, and we've been working on this for about 4 years. It was really getting out to Western Kentucky Distilling where we were able to really get this off the ground and finally launch this in December of 24. So my office is right beside Jacob's office. And so when we're going through those houses of 70,000 barrels, we've got new, you know, obviously stuff we've made at the distillery, but we also have a lot of barrels that we made while we were in Owensboro that are currently aging in the houses as well. So we're going around, you know, when we're tasting things throughout the weeks, you know, we're constantly saying, well, this needs to be blended, this needs more time. But those ones that we find that fit that silky profile, you know, that very nice, those are the ones we're earmarking for our Silk Velvet single barrel. And the other fun part of it is, you know, at barrel proof, you know, that's one thing, but we're also launching this is a 107 proof offering. So we actually will take a lot of barrels and we will proof them down and pick the barrels for this at 107 proof, because we all know, you know, adding water can change a barrel for good or bad. So we want to make sure that everything that we put into this bottle is something, you know, that we enjoy. We're not going to say that we are the you know, top of the, you know, our palate is you know, better than anybody else's, but as long as we enjoy it, we're going to put it into these bottles, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well.
Sure.
Well,
So go ahead.
Well, real quick, I mean,
Yeah.
back in the 1800s, you said the capacity was 3,000 barrels in 3 months. Is that what that was?
It was 5. The original order was for 5,000 barrels, and it took them 3 months to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of capacity back then, I mean, that's pretty impressive, really.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of places today can't do that.
Yes.
No, we're in today's technology. No, you're exactly right.
That's just amazing.
And we have articles going back stating exactly that. I mean, I literally saying that this was the state of the art distillery of its time.
Wow.
You know, so, you know, technology was also rapidly evolving at that time too, right? I mean, you couldn't have done this 20 years before that. And, you know, the industrial age was really kicking in. So, there were other ones past 1880 that, surpassed and whatnot, but for its time, there was no better.
Interesting. Get to some viewers' questions because I don't want to ignore those.
Yeah.
Our first one comes from Eliza Craig, ironically. It says, can you tell us about distribution? More rye, please.
So on the Hemingway rye, like I said, you can find that every single state that is readily available. So find your favorite store and go get it. The Silk Velvets, Kentucky, Tennessee, Colorado, and opening up new states. We're a year and a half ish into it. So we've got more states coming on board very soon. And then also the Silk Velvets are available on our website. And then also Silbach is a very big partner of ours. So you can find both SKUs at Silbach, even if you're in a state that we're not in retail. And then our WKY, which we'll get into when we get in there, really it's a Kentucky only release, and it can only be found on our website, westernkentuckydistilling.com. And I'll get to why when we get to that.
Okay, very good. And then what is that Silk Velvet as far as the baby blue and then the dark one?
Yeah,
I believe that. What do those run?
Yeah, so the baby blue label is $79.99. So those are all hand selected single barrels. Those are 7-year is basically what we're releasing right now. Some early were 6. We'll keep that in the 6 to 8 year range. 107 proof. We also put all the stats of the barrels there on the side as well. So
yeah, it's got a mash bill of 75, 21, 4. Now was that all that mash bill the same for all Silk Velvet?
Yeah, so everything we've released so far has been 75, 21, 4. So this kind of gets into when we were in Owensboro. So, and kind of what current Green River looks like today. So one of the big things that we ran was what we called our OSB, our standard bourbon. And that was a 70, 21, 9 mash bill. And again, what you'll find in Green River today, if you go buy a bottle of that. So this is a little, but we were also and still are a contract distiller. So we did all kinds of mash bills, and still do custom mash bills for a lot of people. So we had the fun part of being around Jacob is one, knowing how exceptional of a distillery he is. And I might be a little biased, but I really think he's the best of his generation. And, but one of the, we experimented with a bunch of stuff, but so I didn't want to go straight 70, 21, 9 unless there was something exceptional about it. And so this is a little bit different than our standard mash bill. Still, I love that high rye part of it. A little less malt. And then the particular bottle that you're drinking right now is even cooler of a story. And what we've been doing for about the last 15 releases of that single barrel. So these were barrels that we made in Owensboro, aged in Kentucky for a couple of years. And then these were actually sent down to Texas to age for a couple of years and then brought back to Kentucky. So, our 107, you're going to get a little bit of that. Our earlier releases were more on the orange peel citrus side. These latest ones are a little more on the red fruit side. And, the earlier batches, we were probably in the 124s, 125s we were starting with. These, mixed aged barrels, really in the 130 to 140 proof are what these are doing at barrel proof. So very, but still with that silky profile, still gives you the mouthfeel, very easy to drink, I think, on these, and hopefully y'all agree. And complex. We want you to be able to sit there and drink it and think about it, because that's why we like whiskey. We don't want something that's quick and finishes and
no, it's not.
They're going, yeah. We are whiskey lovers at heart. We've been doing this for a long time. And it's because it's a passion of ours. So we look at it from a bourbon consumer point of view because we are bourbon consumers. And so, we won't put anything in there that's not a little fun to drink. So.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth as far as this whiskey. As I'm drinking it, actually, it does give you something to think about because you're kind of going through all the notes and
Right.
and all the flavors and the experience of it. So it's just not it's not one flavor for sure. It's kind of layered, especially dude. How much does this go for? This one here, the dark one.
So the dark one, that one's a little bit different, but that one is $49.99 on that. So so we try to, again, we're coming at this from a from a bourbon consumer. So I know the single barrel, they're lower yields, they're more labor intensive because we are obviously hand picking and all. But we wanted more of a one that you could use as an everyday as well, but still have that complexity and fun to drink. So this is a fun little project. So this took
for $50, that's an all-day buy for anybody that's watching.
Well, you said this was aged the last 2 years in Texas.
So that's the baby blue label, the single
baby blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those barrels are in the silk velvet single barrels. So the dark label that you're seeing there, that is our small batch select. So as I was telling you, Jacob and I are going through the house and tasting all these barrels. You find those barrels that are very one note forward, right? You'll get more of a cherry or man, this is a brown sugar all day, or even all these different notes. Well, when they're really heavy in one note, we'll actually mark those for blending. And so we're using 2 different mash bills in this blend, and it's real. It goes back to Jacob a little more too. So the very first 2 mash bills we ran at the old distillery when Jacob pushed them up. So Jacob's dad came to help, resurrect that distillery and bring his knowledge. And so the very first mash bill they ran was 78-13-9 because that is what Jacob's dad had learned from Booker No. And what better person to have learned that mash bill from, right? So so the very they're running 78-13-9 when for the first month. Everything's running smooth. Jacob's dad's like, okay, I think my work here is done. I'm going back to Florida to my other job. You've got this. And so like all defiant sons, as soon as his dad left, Jacob goes, okay, we're running 70-21-9 now. And to change the mash bill up. So this is a blend of the very first 2 mash bills that Jacob ever made while, during his tenure. And so this is a mixture of 4.5 to 6.5 year barrels with those 2 mash bills in. This is a small definition of a small batch. We're using 12 barrels for this blend, and really leaning in towards the orange peel. That's what I really like on this, that really sticks out to me on this blend. But again, 107 proof, $49.99. I think I think it's a fun bourbon that's in that everyday kind of category price range, but doesn't drink like what you would buy it. It's a lot more complex than even the price point gives it.
Oh, yeah. The color of it, the clarity of it. It's just, man.
But I say I love the dark cherry notes I get off the small batch.
Yeah, that comes through too.
These are fantastic offerings. I tell you that. Okay, well, not to set aside the 3 good ones that we've had, and they are 3 good ones. We are now on to the Western Kentucky state only bottle. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so our bourbon right now is just now getting to 3 years. So our Western Kentucky bourbon, is a little too young to really get out there. But again, we've been doing this for about a decade. So our Western Kentucky, the reason why it's not a full-fledged launch, this is more of a marketing events, single barrel picks with us. and it's really a proof of concept to see where we can go. So these barrels, what you're about to taste, is a 7-year 70-21-9, and so our OSB mash bill, and but this one's at barrel proof, and this one you're drinking right now about 125 proof.
Yeah,
And there,
125.2.
yeah. So and this is so a little higher end, but it's really, like I said, more of a proof of concept to get us out and let you know what we're capable of and what you can expect from us in the future as our main, our in-house brands really come of age and get put out there. But we've had. Oh, go ahead.
What'd you say the mash bill was on this? 70.
Yeah, that's a 70-21-9, 21 being rye. And so that is our standard bourbon. Again, that was that mash bill that when Jacob's dad left, he said, "Hey, let's run this." And it's one. I mean, it tastes delicious, but that is a mash bill that a lot of people have had before, and a lot of people have had from Jacob before. So, but we find again those barrels that fit that mash bill at barrel proof, and put them for these. And then we do a lot of charity events with these single barrel picks and things of that nature. And like I said, getting us to when our bourbon is of age for our actual brands.
And then what does something like that run?
So that is $65 on that one. Yep.
Oh, wow. So you've been able to maintain pretty comparable, inexpensive, I don't say inexpensive, but
Competitive. It's competitive,
competitive
pricing
for
sure.
sure.
But this one's only available from the distillery or into Kentucky, right? It doesn't ship anywhere else, right?
Nope.
Sealbox don't dick us up at all.
Nope. Yeah, and so that one is, like I said, distillery exclusive website. Now, if you are in Kentucky and you'd love to try it, there's been some things released with some barrel picks that are out there that you might have seen that before. I think somebody is saying the Whiskey Weather pick, which was
Brandon has done that.
Yeah.
And when we saw that, I don't have that. I think Gandy Road has that. And we all trust Gandy's palate. So, so it sounds like that's been a big hit.
Yeah. And it's very good. And Brandon will tell you, we have a good time on the barrel picks. So we get into the house and we've got nice couches and rug, and we sit inside the barrel houses and trying the whiskey, and we have a good old time doing it. And we have had more people come through and can't decide, so they leave with 2 barrels more than we've had that leave one, and that's very true on that. But like I said, we have a good time with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And and so Jacob's had now in the last 5 years, he's had 4 of his whiskeys. We reached top 20 whiskeys in the world. I mean, he's had countless, double golds and all that. His whiskey speaks for itself, and really, his whiskey is still flowing through major brands today. I think we've calculated it up. Over 100 brands to this date have used his whiskey in there. So even if you don't think Jacob Call, Jacob Call just from things that you might not think you do.
Right. I mean, he's got his fingerprints on quite a bit of things that it's almost like swinging the whole dead cat thing, right? I mean, you're gonna end up running into something.
Swinging the whole dead.
That whole saying about swinging the dead cat, you'll hit something. I don't know. Is that how it goes?
I thought it'd be like a blind squirrel finds a nut.
I don't know. Isn't there a saying about swinging a dead cat?
Never heard of that.
Seriously, Zach, help me out on this. Have you heard that?
I know of a dead cat bounce. I think in the stock market. That's about
swing a dead cat. I don't know. Never mind.
I have Schrodinger's cat.
You'll hit something. No,
I have never heard of
Maybe that's me. I don't know. Maybe I just made it up. So I don't know. Anyways, hey, we're going to a question and get off this topic. This is an older comment to what you were saying earlier. Yep. Chris Blankenship says the Colonel, you say, was he a Kentucky colonel? I think you were talking about back in the day. Would
Yeah.
that be correct? As far
Yeah,
as you were talking about earlier?
So there's some fun parallels between the colonel and his family, and even ours that we've started this. So the colonel was not a real colonel. He was a Kentucky colonel, and then he was also, like I said, him and his two sons. So fast forward to today, my dad brought this to me, right? So this is a family venture. I couldn't leave him out. So we've got my dad and my brother and myself, as in this. So it's a dad and two sons, here in Henderson, Kentucky. The other fun part where I'm sitting right now is actually the exact same street that the old distillery was on as well. So some fun parallels of the old versus the new.
Very good. Mr. Sean Collin asks, as far as how many barrels did you all bring from Green River?
We bought a lot. It brought a lot. So one of the fun things that our president JD Edwards and Jacob would do is when we were running barrels at the old place, every morning Jacob goes and tastes off the still and see what today's batch tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would get those, man, it is really good today. They'd go back and they would end up purchasing some of those barrels. So, you accumulate quite a bit over the years when you're doing it for, 8 years or so. And so we've got a lot. The other part of it is we were a contract distiller too. So, our capacity grew throughout the years. It started with a handful of fermenters, grew to when we left over 20 fermenters there on site, doing almost 100,000 barrels a year. So Jacob's, all those old barrels are all over the place. They were there in house. They were people that contracted them. They bought them and stored them in different spots. So not only do we have a lot on site, we have access to a lot of those barrels as well. The other part about that is, I was saying about O.Z. Tyler being, the most misunderstood distillery in the world. Those old barrels right now, if you're following, these groups and all, you're seeing those O.Z. Tyler barrels pop up, and people are really enjoying them, really starting to go. The thought of this has changed. So from the early days, one of those reasons Jacob left, because he had no say. But the early days, that ownership group, they had a technology that we all know that said it rapidly aged. It really didn't do what it did. But a lot of people, the misconception, the reason why I say it's the most misunderstood distillery, that process of that rapidly aging was after the barrel was dumped. So it was actually a finishing process. But from day one, Jacob was making whiskey the way his dad taught him, the way his granddad taught his dad, all the way back. And so it was the traditional way of making bourbon. Now, back then when they released the O.Z. Tyler label, that was a year and a day old, and they ran it through that finishing, rapidly aging process. And so a lot of people thought that rapid aging was actually done during the distillation, when it never was. It, like I said, it was after that barrel was dumped. The reason why they did it at a year and a day, when you're starting a distillery, you need capital. And so they would sit there, they needed money to come in. This is a very, expensive business. And so they thought where to bring some money in is to do a brand. Well, what they were thinking kind of in the right way, but they had short-sightedness. So they, a whiskey a year and a day old, I don't care what you do to it, it's just not going to be good. And the reception was that it wasn't any good. But it was that misconception of when that rapid aging started is what really hurt us for a long time. And even when we rebranded and brought the Green River name back, that reputation was still there for a little bit. But what you're seeing now is, now that these barrels are 6, 7, 8, 9, this year we're going to have some barrels from there that turned 10 years old. I tried some last night with my buddy Jacob Kuiper from Cumming Whiskey of a 9-year 4-month, and My gosh, it was so good. But these barrels are now starting to be highly sought after. And so for us, you're going to walk through the house and you're going to see OZ Tyler everywhere. And so it's been very awesome for us, especially the OGs that we call ourselves, that came from that distillery, to see that perception completely flip now that people are understanding that we did it the right way. Jacob did it the right way, and they're damn good at where they're at now. So that's been very fun.
So real quick, I'm going to try to multitask here, and I'm not sure if you can see the screen that you're on, but I want to show you a picture if you could see it.
Okay.
Let me, are you able to see the screen that you're on?
I think, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to show you this, where I'm going to share it there. So Chris Blankenship would like to know, did I see a 161 proof silk velvet single barrel pick posted somewhere today on our front porch somewhere? What is that all about, if you could say?
Yeah, so that was me and Jacob Kuiper doing that, drinking that whiskey yesterday. So yes, that is 100% true. So we were my friend Brian Bakey from Silbach and Bakey's Blue. He came down to do a barrel pick with us, and we did. We went through the house and we just started drilling barrels for fun. And it was me, Jacob, and him. And we got through what we thought, we probably did 5 or 6 and decided that we had what we needed. And so, we're sitting there and we've had a little bit, and especially when you're drinking 130 something proofs all day. And so we're like, hey, let's have some fun. Let's start drilling in some of these barrels that are basically empty and see what they taste like, and you got to remember, we're drilling into barrels. We don't know proofs. We don't know anything. All we know is what we're tasting. Yeah. So after about, we start drilling into these short barrels, and by short barrels, I mean very short barrels. And we get to this one, and Jacob and I and Brian look at each other and say, holy crap, this is the best one we've had. and I'm, we can tell there is nothing in this thing. I mean, there's barely anything in it. And so we take some samples and that day we ended up, tasting about 10 barrels. And we went back and we're like, well, let's go proof these things, see what we tasted, have some fun with it. And we get back and we ended up out of the 10 barrels, 5 of them were hazmat. The 5 that were not were anywhere between 133 and 139 proof. The other 5 were 140, 145, 148, 152. And then the one that we said was the best one, and again, we had no clue proof anything. 161 proof is what actually popped up. And my gosh, so for that high proof and for it to have so much flavor and not drink at that proof, I've been doing this for a long time. I've never had 160 proof whiskey, bourbon. I've had light whiskey, that type of stuff, but I've never had bourbon out of a barrel aged for that long that it had ever hit that proof. And so for that flavor, and it drank way lower than what you get. A lot of that proof in the front, and then it goes away, and it goes into this very nice flavor. And then I know smooth is a nasty word in bourbon, but no burn that you would think at that proof it would just burn you all the way down. And it's just a lovely and it's also one of those I wish I could share with every single person that enjoys whiskey, but unfortunately there was so little. We bottled it and we got 15 bottles out of the whole barrel. So unfortunately, yeah. And so, Brian posted something a couple weeks ago, and we had sent Jacob Kuiper a kind of a funny video because he was supposed to come, but he had work that day. So you know, we were saying, well, you know, you didn't miss anything, you know, it just 140, 150, 160 proof, you know, hope you had a good day at work. And so he
Yeah.
posted that, and my phone, I don't think, stopped with people wanting to try it. So yeah, I wish I could give everybody you know, a taste of it and
And
experience it.
I would come down and I would stay at the Beaver Dam Hotel if I had to get a bottle of hazmat. Let me just say.
The other good part is we did barrel the 150 too, though it had dropped just a hair down to 150. But again, it just really this batch that, and I hope y'all agree on with the baby blue that you had. This batch is really interesting. You know, at 107, it's very interesting. At barrel proof, it's very interesting as well. A lot different. And we do a lot of single barrels with that. Barrel picks with groups on that silk velvet, but we try to keep the barrel proof stuff for the groups and all to really enjoy and have something interesting they can share with their groups as well. But yeah, these are fun. Yeah.
So yeah, these are something that won't go on the market at all. These are going to be for your private pick people.
So the yeah,
Or even charity, you can do like a charity bottle.
right.
yeah, we're trying to figure out how, you know, this is one of the conversations I had with Kuiper last night. It was, you know, I'm a whiskey consumer first, you know,
Yeah.
in the industry second. I'm still that kid that went with his wife before getting into this industry. For, you know, we would go to every single distillery, we would buy every bottle we could find. We're there on the couch talking, tasting, you know, sharing notes. So I'm still that guy, you know, at heart. And so I struggle with something like this, to where, what is the most fair way to get this out and get people that really would appreciate this at this proof getting out. So
we would appreciate it.
yeah. And so we're trying to figure that out on how, on this one to kind of get this one into people's hands. But so yeah, that we don't know yet.
Yeah, we get it, and that's an awesome thing. What a man, what a fun day that sounded like it was. And,
yeah.
you know,
He should have missed work. I'll say that.
Yeah, I definitely left. I've left work early for that one.
Oh yeah.
So I would have done some sick there or something like that. But hey, Zach, it was I tell you what, this was a great interview. I learned a lot. I love the history behind it. You know, even, you know, when we first got on and started talking about, as far as from the origins of it and how it kind of led up to today's world and whatnot. I think I missed a question somewhere in chat and I lost it. But I think it said something to the effect of maybe today's market, as far as maybe what are your thoughts? We asked this to a lot of people that come on our show.
Yeah.
And I love hearing about it, because you guys kind of know more than anybody else when it comes to that. What is your thoughts about today's bourbon market, where it's at and maybe where it's headed, and you know, things of that nature?
Yeah, so that's you know, that's I was just at James B. Beam conference a couple weeks ago, and you know, I mean, that's the topic of the industry right now, where we're at. So you can kind of look at it. You can kind of look at it in two separate ways. You know, as far as the consumer goes, what, you know, the sales on the liquor store shelves, we're down, but we're not down that much. So we're down, you know, 3-5%. Especially if you take COVID out of there. I think COVID really messed with a lot of metrics.
Sure.
You know, we're down or even, you know, plus minus. You could almost say we're almost flat. Obviously not growing, but I don't think it's as doom and gloom on the bottle side, the finished case side. Good news for consumers. You know, you're going to get a lot of older whiskey at a cheaper price. The aged market right now has really taken a hit. Barrels are, you know, have come down in all age categories. So, you know, NDPs, other brands are really going to take hold of this. You know, they're buying up they're buying up this aged product and releasing it out and dumping it. So we're seeing, that side staying pretty steady. Now the barrel side, the bulk side is where all the hits have taken place. So there's a multitude of factors for it. I mean, it one, a big one being, COVID. Everybody saw this, massive trajectory, this spike, because nobody had anything to do, right? We're all stuck
Right.
inside. What
Trying to drink.
you can only do so much. One of those is, well, I guess I'm going to go through my whiskey collection a little bit. And so investors saw this and they saw money signs. And so you saw a bunch of people jump in, thinking, seeing all this inflation on barrel prices and all, thought they could get in with a get rich quick scheme. In reality, they were buying barrels, hoping to double their money in X number of years. The problem of that was they had no exit strategy. So you had a bunch of investors buying barrels, but really had nothing to do with them. It's like, okay, you're going to buy them up, sit on them for a while, and you're going to sell them. Who are you selling them to? What are you going to do with it? Well, I'm going to sell them to somebody else. Okay. Well, they're going to buy them. Then what are they going to do? Well, I'm going to sell them to somebody else. Well, eventually whiskey has to get dumped. There has to be something that happens to it. And then the other part about investing, right? You have these, you get, just watch the stock market. That's one of the fun. I don't play in the stock market a lot, but I like watching it more than I play it. But you'll see what investors do. They get spooked real easy. And so one big one sees something happen. They start, dumping out. The next one sees that. And then it's a snowball effect to where now everybody's fire selling their inventory. And really, like I said, on the drinking side of it, you're not really seeing much of a decline, but we built up such a surplus on the barrel side that, that really, and everybody putting their barrels out on the market, it's kind of like a bank run, back in the days, one guy goes in and says, hey, I want to take all my money out of the bank. And then the next one, why are you taking your money out? And you go, well, that, oh, I want all my money. And then the next thing you know,
that's a good point.
Yeah. So, so that's one of the reasons, obviously, pricing on exports, all that stuff really doesn't help as well. Not that, but there's no one real factor that's been 100% it. It's a combination of a lot of factors that have done this. The good news is the ones that can kind of get through this are really going to, I believe, benefit because all of us have throttled back. Western Kentucky is throttled back. All the big guys, I mean, we've all seen the headlines. We've throttled back now. For us, we've kind of pivoted to more of that contract bottling. So we've got the good news that we've got a 250,000 case capacity there at the distillery. So we brought our old bottling manager, the brains behind all of our bottling operation in Owensboro. He's with us. We have a team that knows how to do that, how to get packaged from grain to glass. So we've pivoted a little bit to doing a little bit more bottling, though we're still running, we're still doing these things, but not full capacity. You've had other ones shut completely down or pause operations. So that bulk is actually in future markets, that in 2-3 years, you're not really going to have 2 to 3 year old whiskey. You're not going to have, there's going to be a shortage. And as this continues, those ages get out, right? I mean, you go 4 or 5 years out. Well, we don't have whiskey again. So then you go from a surplus to a shortage, and then we're all throttling right back on, hitting. The other thing for brands are, I think about this a lot. We think about this a lot. For a brand right now, you can buy some aged for very cheap, and you can really hit that up. But when that flips and you're not laying anything down to support that brand, your brand just became instantly more expensive. And then you get into a shortage and everything ramping up. You're going to see brands starting to get not necessarily in trouble, but they're going to be, it's going to be hard pressed to meet demand because costs have risen so high. So you're going to see probably this fluctuation for a little while. You know, we're good. We've got different ways that we bring in. The other good part of it is you come visit the distillery. We didn't build Disney World. You know, we know some distilleries, you know, it's visitor experience first, it's production second. We're bourbon people. Production was number 1, 2, and 3 for us. We wanted to make sure, so we didn't throw a lot of money into VX, into this. We are a full-on production facility. You know, so you're not going to get this shiny bells and whistles and all that. You're going to see raw bourbon being made, but that also means that we're not in a ton of debt. We're not, you know, we are in a good spot to be able to weather storm, and, you know, doing all these other pillars. But we really, you know, as this shifts in the next couple of years, you're going to start to see this kind of flip. And I do think, you know, brands nowadays, you're seeing the current climate, but it's like, you know, the old Warren Buffett thing, you know, when everybody's fearful, be greedy. When everybody's greedy, be fearful. Right now, the where pricing is for new make, where pricing is for all these things to go forward, it's not a bad time to think about, you know, laying some future production down, because you can do it for really at a very good price that's going to benefit you even more when that market kind of turns.
See, here's my concern with all this, and bear with me just for a second. I'm gonna put my aluminum hat on, or whatever you want to call it. But you know, my concern is the fact that you talk about you're going to start seeing a lot more older age stated whiskeys, bourbons, whatnot. The fear is that these distilleries that are showing this 10+ year, they're going to start wanting to get paid for 10+ year, and not and because they're younger 4 or 5 typical shelfer type bourbons aren't selling, so they're going to start selling these older age stated at a higher price. And then down the road, my fear is, because we concentrated so much on the higher age stated, that the typical 4 or 5 year shelfers, like you said, we're going to have a shortage come 3 or 4 years from now. That's my
and you're not wrong. I mean, you're going to take something we all love, Eagle Rare, right? So I mean, you know, back in the day, it was the Eagle Rare 10-year, and then we went to a shortage during the bourbon boom. Well, we took the 10-year off. You know, that kind of got a little less than 8. And now that we're kind of on that backside, now we're getting the 12-year, right? And so you're going to see that kind of situation kind of happen as the years go on. You're going to get, that's the bad part on the consumer side. You're going to get really high-aged bourbon for a really good price for the next couple of years. But as that flips, those age statements are going to start coming down, and that price is going to stay pretty steady. And so, you know, the market's going to bear what, you know, these things actually, you know, the market always wins no matter what. But that's what you're going to see. As a consumer, you're going to love it. Now, as we get going, you know, that is going to flip. And we're going to, so all these that, you know, get used to these 12-year, 15-year bourbons, then it's going to become harder to get, and you're going to have to pay a heck of a lot more for that 12 to 15 years. So enjoy it while you can, I guess is my good thing. And then also, like I said, I think brands that are smart about this, and even, you know, I said investors, you know, kind of, there's some money to be made once this kind of flips as well, even on the investing side, because in a market when there's a shortage, prices go up. So there's a lot of opportunity I see right now in the future markets. As long as you can sit on some inventory for a couple of years, I think you've got a real opportunity for brands and investors alike to really potentially, you know, make some money when it all turns. The other good thing about that is too, with us, you know, we also, because we were contract distilling for so long, and we still contract distill, and we've got access to so many aged barrels and everything else. So for brands that are looking to take advantage of even the age market right now, we can help get you what you need at good prices now as well. So like I say, but it's supply demand. It's the old market. I mean, there's nothing nefarious or crazy going on right now. This is just, supply side economics, just showing its head in, unfortunately, a market that we love dearly. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's kind of my fear. I mean, you're going to be starting to pay secondary pricing when you probably wouldn't need to be doing it.
Yeah. Right. Interesting.
Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, and I think this is the debate that can go on and on. And man, I think a lot of us just geek up over it. Especially, I can tell in the comments that people are really liking the discussion, and we can go all night long if we could. But you know what, Zach, I do appreciate you coming on tonight. And once again, special thanks to Chris Blankenship for giving us the connection.
Yes, thank you.
Without him, this would not have happened. And I'm sure Chris probably bugged you to death. And
I love Chris. All good. Yep.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I love that guy.
And then Gandy too, because I met Gandy this afternoon. You rapidly shipped the bottles, which we appreciate.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that being said, Zach, let's not be a stranger. Let's have you back on. Real quick, I always ask everybody, any future offerings that we should look forward to that you want to talk about? Yeah,
so we've got on the Hemingway side, they're always putting some stuff out. Ron Call's 50th year in distilling was not too long ago. They released a 50-year anniversary bottle for that. They've got the Hemingway bourbon that is a mixture of 36% rye bourbon and 21% rye bourbon. That's phenomenal. If you were at KBF last year and you got to try it, really look out for that. Right now in Florida for the most part, but slowly spreading as well. And then, Silk Velvet side, we've got some really interesting barrel picks that are out there. So, if you're in these bourbon groups and even on Silbach, be on the lookout for some of the barrel proof offerings we have. KBF, we might have some fun stuff come out this year. So come see us at KBF this we'll be doing a Kentucky Bourbon Festival barrel pick with the organizers there for this year's KBF for on the Silk Velvet side. And then the WKY side, we're constantly aging. The worst part about restarting a distillery is resetting the clock. So we've done this once. I think version 2.0 is even better than version 1.0, especially the way we're seeing things trend in-house on that. So be on the lookout for us, especially over the next year or so. Our bourbon is going to start hitting that 4-year mark. You might start seeing some things get out there, early. We like it older, just like everybody else, but we've got to, we got to release where we're at. Right. So, so be on the lookout, follow us on socials, all 3 of them. Feel free to reach out, message us. If you're interested on barrel picks, with your group, reach out. We have a really, really fun time on those. So yeah, but I really appreciate and I hope you share the samples out. Y'all enjoy those.
We're gonna share them for sure.
Yeah,
and bourbon's meant to be shared anyway. That's
right. Yeah. That's right.
So you're going to be at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Mm-hmm. Are you? What's your plans? Like bourbon on the banks?
Yeah, and I told my brother today, like I say, who's a partner in, we have got to get registered on Bourbon on the Banks. I met somebody there. I think the president, somebody very high, and
Diane.
I can get you information on that if you're interested. In joining.
We would love to see you there.
We 100% want to be there, and we've had it on our calendar all year, but unfortunately, have not made that connection yet to get in. So, if you could send that over, we're going to be there. We're joining. We're releasing in new states very soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. We've got some fun stuff in store. So.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. I wouldn't mind seeing a rye, your own distillate rye, come out one day.
Quick Q&A, and then we got to run. There was a last minute question here.
Yeah.
Your family has been distilling since the late 1700s. How does your heritage influence your approach to whiskey today?
So that's Jacob's family. So Jacob's family's been going since, like I said, 1791. And, that was one of those things, not to bring back the OZ Tyler stuff, but that was one of those things that never made sense to us in the early days, because Jacob is so focused on the tradition of making whiskey. And it's the way his dad was taught, that his granddad taught him, and going all the way back. So these are, really digging into the way bourbon was meant to be made, and the traditional side of it. We know that, bourbon's evolved throughout the past 100 so years, but we want to honor that way of doing it. We all know there's a reason why we all love this. One, it's delicious, but the other part of it is the history, the heritage. Especially for us, we're all Kentucky born and raised as well. So there's a pride of this. We're also the second largest fully Kentucky owned distillery. It's Heaven Hill, and it's us. Don't look up the gap between that, we really, and expect, Jacob was born in right outside of Bardstown. So this is something that we're really passionate about, because it's from our home state, because of where we are, and because we love it. And so, that heritage has really, we try to put that into everything that we produce, especially at Western Kentucky.
Awesome. Very good. All right, Zach, we'll be in touch probably tomorrow. We'll email you. We'll connect you with Diane.
Yeah.
I think we would all love to see you. A bunch of us are going down to Bourbon and the Banks, and
nice.
We do appreciate you coming on.
And what I'll do is I'll also send you a link to our Discord. We'll set up a channel in Discord where questions we didn't get to tonight, or somebody thinks about after the fact.
Thank you.
You can participate in that and answer some of those questions. It's kind of get you to one-on-one, face-to-face with everybody out there. So
heck yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Great.
All right, very good, Zach. We will catch you next time. You take care, and we'll be watching you from afar.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks for coming on.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
See ya.
Hey, what do you know?
Very interesting. Like I said, when we talked about it, I did not know that they were involved in Hemingway or Silk.
That thing needed a 2-hour special.
It did.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately,
I'll be honest. We're totally transparent on this channel. When I first tried Silk at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I didn't like it. It had a single malt type of a flavor for me. But these two bottles here tonight, man, that totally changed my mind.
No, I liked all four of them. My favorite was, I got to be honest, it's weird. Obviously, it was the Western Kentucky bottle, whatever it's called. But then also this $49 bottle. That was that was my second favorite.
Yeah, that ironically, this was top 3 in our last tasting.
Yeah, it was out of 12 bottles.
Right.
It was. This one I ended up getting as a gift, and it exceeded all expectations.
So, all right, very good. So we have a bunch of stuff. We're gonna do this quick. I hope.
Well,
we never do. So hey, by the way, real quick, I wanted to tell you what I did today.
Yeah, let's hear this
story.
Surprise that we can.
Okay, so I went to go down and meet Chris. Right. Before you get all whatever, let me just tell you this much. This all happened within a half an hour.
Okay.
This was not planned.
All right.
So I did not have time to call you to tell you to drop what you're doing and come with.
Okay.
All right. So I went.
Although I probably would have, but that's okay.
Don't say that. You would not. Anyways, I went to go see Chris. On the way down, I happened to call Bill because I wanted to talk to Bill about something. Right. Okay. And Bill might have gone and said, "What are you doing right now?" And I said, "Well, I'm going down to meet Chris." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, you're doing like a quick drop off. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just going to do a drop off of some bottles, stuff like that." He said, "Well, you and Chris, if he can." I knew Chris couldn't go, so I already said Chris couldn't go. He's like, "We're finishing up the 1776 bottle. Once you come up and help us."
Like I said, just like last time, call me. I'd have been there.
It was too late.
I don't care. I'd have been there.
It was too late. Anyways. So I spent about, I don't know, a couple hours over at Brian's house. And what? Just hold on. You would have gone. You couldn't have gone.
I know I couldn't have, but
So
I could have.
So here's what's the great
I
part
can't
about
leave work.
and I told Bill,
Yeah.
I told Bill, I said, can I tell people this? He's like, yeah, you can tell people this. So they were down to 3. They gave me a blind of 3. One of them, which I did not find out till later because they didn't tell me what it was. One of them, which was the Judge Batch 5.
The one we did last year. Okay.
Correct. And then they gave me the other 2, the final 2 that they decided they couldn't decide.
Okay.
So they wanted me to blind it. So I did. Well, 3rd place was the Judge Batch 5.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, the 1776, the 250 bottle, I call it the Judge 250.
Yeah.
The Judge 250 bottle is going to be fan freaking tastic.
Wow.
So let me take it further. So we're tasting these things, and we're talking and all that kind of stuff. And Brian's a really good blender.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
He's one of
this
the
is
best.
better than the other, yada yada. And we're talking all that kind of stuff. And so we decided to take the base of the bourbon without. It's like a 10. I think it's 10 barrels mixed up or 11 barrels mixed up. And we took away 1 barrel and I tasted the base of it and it was good. And then we got to mix in there that, and we got to a different blend of what I helped. And we decided that's going to be the blend instead of the other 2, number 2, number 3.
Wow.
So yours truly had a piece of the Judge
Nice.
250. So.
Congrats. Yep.
Wow. So it's a Judge and Colonel blend.
Oh, that'd be great. I don't think Bill would go for that.
No, but that's
I
pretty
know.
awesome that you got to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been
Yeah.
there too.
Well,
I got a
I swear,
phone call.
I promise you, this all
He
came
wanted to cut you
together.
out of it. It's-
I
This
know.
all came together within like 30 minutes. And
that's so cool though. That's really cool.
hold on here.
Anything McBrayer in my, I'm sorry.
Here it is.
Well, what the fuck?
Wow. Okay.
I got some of the sample.
Yeah, get
There's
the
not
glasses back
there's
here.
not much left.
What the hell?
There's not much left. So this is the
this
this
is what the new 250
this is the final version of the Judge 250.
We're allowed to crack this open?
Can I have a glass too?
No, you don't
No,
get
you've
it.
Well,
already
come
had it.
on.
You've already had your glass.
I understand, but
Uh-huh.
anyways.
Yeah.
So this, by the way, you viewers at home, this Judge 250 is coming probably in June.
Yeah, he said late May or
Yeah.
early June.
The
yeah.
box is beautiful, by the way.
I know. I saw
It's
the
a blue box.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. It's only gonna be 1,776 bottles.
Oh, not, but it's only going to be like an $80 bottle, correct? $75, $80 bottle.
No, I
what
think it's gonna be a 100 bottle again. Brian, there you go. It was a fun afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Brian, for the phone call. You have my phone number. I was available.
I
Could
mean,
have made myself
for those of
available.
you that watch
That's
this
okay.
channel knows how much we love McBrayer.
Oh yes, and I even told Bill today. I said, you know what, McBrayer is always our first love.
Oh, yeah.
We always come back to you. Always go back
Yeah.
to your first true love, and McBrayer, of course, is that.
Yeah, I just feel like I was kicked in the teeth.
No, you didn't kick in the
That's
teeth.
okay.
You know, I wanted to get your. It's one of those things. I want to get your on-air reaction
Uh-huh.
into.
Yeah.
We're in front of people
No.
right now, so you only get so mad at me right now because
I'm not
we're
mad
in
at
public.
you. I'm not mad. I think it's cool that you were able to participate. Really.
Stick around for Google Meets to see what happens.
No
next.
shit. But I mean, I was available if I had to be. But it's
So,
all right.
anyways, if you want to,
Oh,
yeah, you're welcome.
Now this is.
you guys are going to want to get this bottle.
Does this
I
have
haven't
batch
even tasted
5
it yet.
blended into
No,
this?
nope.
This is just a 2.
And you know what, Brian? He can explain it more in chat. Brian, if you don't mind, if you want to explain more about this batch that we're that we're tasting, he's
Mike,
much better at that.
West
I am.
Virginia Mike. I'm sorry, but
But-
you know,
Don't waste that on Jeff.
I got a little finger that
The
I got a
easy,
nail that I
easy,
gotta
easy.
fix on here. I can't.
Yes.
Jeff Watch, we'll have to get the fresh out.
So,
No,
anyways,
I got a
so
hangnail.
Brian can maybe
right
comment
there.
more on what we're tasting here. But
Oh.
as far as the nose,
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that.
I get a sweet caramel / corn.
Yeah.
So,
I get McBrayer.
well, I understand that.
I do. I just. Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah. Just like I thought it was about 5 hours ago.
Nice legs.
Thank you. Look at the legs on
Not as dark though that I would expect.
But look at the legs.
What's the ages on these?
Again, Brian can tell you. I just sat there and I was a taster.
Because I know last year when we did it, they were like
I just sat there and
like
just
8
tasted
year
bourbon.
Did they have the same MGP guy there with the spreadsheet?
No. Brian's doing all this now.
Brian's doing it all.
No, he's got the whole spreadsheet. He is
nice.
He's doing a great job at it.
That was like the Matrix.
No.
Put it up on that screen.
Yes, but Brian is the Matrix now.
Nice.
Yes, Chris. When we hear what he was talking about, yes, we had to grab those Glens very quickly.
So here we go. There we go. 11 barrels, 3 7 years, 4 6 years. The rest are 5.5 years. All judge mash bill, entirely different profile from the judge. And he is correct. Wow. It is a different profile from the judge.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, even from the tasting, the blind, the original 3 that I did, I quickly came down to the 2 of the 3 that I couldn't decide for them. The third one was easy, and that was the Judge 5.
So that is that distinctively different than Batch 5.
I thought so.
Wow.
And they blinded it to me. So all I'm saying is, to me, it was better than Judge 5. So, cheers.
Holy crap.
It's got a nice little complexity to the end of it, on the back end of it, if you feel it in the back of your tongue. So,
very long finish.
Wow.
That's all you get.
That is
I can't wait
nice.
until they bottle that.
This is going to be a very good bottle.
Wow.
Yeah. So, which, by the way, that leads me to my next conversation.
Oh, is there more?
No.
Who else did you meet with?
Who else did you just bend me over?
No, but leads me to my next conversation. We don't have all the players yet. Okay. However, very important date. We're going to say this a gazillion times. May 28th is a very, very important date for Bourbon and Ballz.
Very, very important.
We are having it's probably going to be semi-annual or probably annual roundtable.
Depends, yes.
Correct. But anyways, for right now, we are on May 28th. Obviously, it's a Thursday. We have decided to go back in our Rolodex of people that we've had on this show. And I thought to myself, why don't we have 4 to 6 of the past guests, whether they were influencers, distillers, whoever. Let's get them on the show all at once.
Yes.
Those who have been on our Bourbon and Ballz before. I just want to step back and just have them talk. And have them talk about the state of bourbon, whiskey, just how they are doing from their perspective. What do they see from their perspective? Basically, it's going to be a Bourbon and Ballz roundtable. And that is going to be May 28th. There is 4 people that we could confirm at least.
We have Mark Gillespie,
who is from
Whiskey Cast. If you, it's another podcast. We had him on a year and a half or so ago.
Yeah, and he runs actually, Bourbon Pursuit is the bourbon, right? As probably the largest bourbon podcast. However, Mark Gillespie, by definition, has the largest whiskey podcast.
Longest running whiskey podcast out there.
Correct. So he will be on the show.
Right. We've got Lisa Wicker from Whiskey Thief. We have
Whitney Spence from Colpick.
Yep.
And then we have Bill McBrayer, from McBrayer Express. We won't announce anything else. We're waiting on 2 more responses. But again, it's going to be a nice roundtable evening. I think it'd be, it's going to be a great evening.
We're allotting for an hour and a half of
It'll probably
interview
be a 2-hour
time.
show.
It's probably going to be plan on a little bit extra time that Thursday night, because it will be one hell of a show for sure.
Yeah,
it's going to be epic for getting all these like-minded brains.
Just put them in the room, let them talk. I would love just to hear them. So May 28th, please mark your calendar, save the date. That's going to be a huge show for us. Past guests, but all in one room, at least a selected few. But we're waiting on confirmation on a couple more, but we won't say who they are yet until they confirm.
Correct.
And we were talking about that this is going to be, hoping that this goes well, This will be a
Whatever.
not just a one-time segment. This is
Yeah.
gonna be
It's not
something
going to
we
be one
do.
time. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're only inviting 4 or
Yeah.
6 of who we've had over the last 2 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
We've had
So,
80 something.
And then
yeah.
once we confirm, what we'll probably do then is in our Discord or through our Patreon, we'll go ahead and start preloading questions because I think it'll be a busy night for everybody. I got to be honest with you, probably not going to get through all the questions. We're just going to go on topics, and obviously, state of bourbon is going to be one of the main topics that I would love to get everybody's input.
Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about tonight with Zach. Is that's kind of where we're headed for the first episode. Is kind of get everybody's take because we don't necessarily have everybody from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Let's
we don't
keep that because we got other states out there that
Sure.
have other opinions and thoughts
Yep.
on how their economy is handling with all that.
Yep.
But that's how we wanted to start the first episode, is to get that kind of industry take on where they feel things are.
Sure. Yep. And then also hats off, give credit where credit's due. Jeffro, I will give you credit. May 7th, we have Jack Daniels coming on to the show. So congratulations for you for booking that.
Yep. Chris from Master Distiller, Jack Daniels will be on.
That'll be a great show.
That'll be a great one.
I appreciate you doing that. Next week, guys and gals, we will have Independent Staves. That's a little bit of a detour than what we normally do.
A little bit. Yeah.
This will be for our first cooperage to come on. So we'll kind of take a different angle at this as far as interview, how we do it. So it'd be kind of cool to have Independent Staves on.
Yeah, because we've had the distillers on.
Yep.
We've had their opinions. Now let's start looking behind the scenes as to what where things kind of come from. We got the Independent Staves. We got a couple other cooperages we're talking to. We got
Also some cork people.
Cork people.
Yes.
Vendom, the people that make the stills. I can't
I forget who it is, but even like cork people, I'd be interested in learning about the cork. And the trees and all that kind of stuff. But
where you go from, do you do real cork or do you do synthetic, and
Right.
why would you do synthetic compared to real? And there's a whole science geekiness behind it all. But that, I mean, we're going to stick with what we've been doing for the last several years. Is our niche is the distilleries, getting them on here, letting you people learn what we learn, because a lot of times we don't know these people either. You give them to us to go out and hunt them down and get them on the show.
Sure.
So we learn when you do.
Yes.
So we're going to continue to do that, but we're also going to start going a little bit more behind the scenes, bringing on some people that have a little bit more geeky science behind them, a little bit more how they kind of feed some of these distilleries.
And then the following week, in 2 weeks, we will not be on air, except for we're going to be on air on Tuesday, not Thursday, because we will be in Spillway. We've been talking about this event, oh my God, for like a year.
And that show will again also be different than what we normally do.
What do we have on?
His name is Garrett Gleason. He is a
is he the movie guy?
Yeah, he's a movie producer.
Okay.
He is developing a movie right now called Van Gogh Fast. It is based in the Bourbon Trail.
Is this the crowdsourcing film?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
All
right.
So
anyways, so we'll have him on. Whiskey Nose, you all know Marty. Most of you guys do. We're gonna have him on. We're gonna change paces a little bit, and then we'll go back to distilleries with having Bard's Distillery, and then we have Jack Daniels and so forth, yada yada. We're booked until June.
We're booked until the end of June.
So look out for the new calendar. It's been put out. Jeff put it out for the month of April. Hope you guys are enjoying things. So that's been that on that.
And
on that
again,
front.
we have a channel on our Discord. If you have somebody you want us to reach out to, somebody you've heard of that we don't even know about, maybe we do know about, let us know. I will be happy to reach out. I have no shame. I'll ask, get them on the show one way or another.
All right.
Yes.
So real quick, you Patreon folks, you guys have been patiently waiting. I got to do a few things with you all. One is Monday is the murder mystery game. It comes back. Check your emails. We have a new game, a new murder, and you all got to figure it out in Clue style fashion, where you guys give us the killer, the location, and the weapon. And previous months we've had Gandy kill me.
Yes, Gandy
killed me where? At the post office, I think.
At the post office, I think.
And then the month before we had I forget, I think, was it Beam or somebody killed James E. Pepper and I forget.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's coming out on Monday. So we are back with Murder Mystery on Monday. That will run for 4 weeks. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to put in your answers, and we will reveal the answers on a Thursday night stream. And then if you're lucky enough to get it correct, you'll be put into a drawing from that point on. Also returning to in the month of April is Poker Night. Poker Night is on Tuesday for you paid patrons. We will do that. It's all done in Discord. I'll put something out in Patreon to remind you all. Again, samples will be given out that night as well. We have a Patreon drawing tonight. Let's get WKYD out of the way because we have a few of these drawings to go tonight. Because as they gave us a whole bottle, we're going to do at least probably 3 spins, we might guess. So that being said, let's get the first one out of the way. Let's go with hashtag WKYD, and let's spin it. And you have to be present to claim your samples.
Okay, ice by chance.
What are you doing? Oh, you're doing a plug, aren't you?
I'm doing a plug.
Mr. Bortner, are you here, brother?
Michael Bortner.
Say yes on if you are. If so, claim your prize. Mr. Bortner, are you here?
Thank you, Weller. I need to move.
Mr. Bortner, can you hear me? You know what? I don't see him on. I don't see him in chat.
Oh my gosh, my knees. Oh.
I'll give Bortner about 10 seconds, and then unfortunately we got a busy night. We're gonna have to move on. I don't think he is on.
I'm getting kisses from Weller.
Oh, is he licking you?
Lick the shit out of my ears.
That's awesome. All right, here we go. We're gonna have to run this again. I'm sorry, Mr. Bortner. We have to move on to the next person here. Hold on here. Draw again.
Getting ice. Ice balls.
Gandy Road.
Gandy, we know he's here.
Yes, Gandy Road. Are you here, brother? Acknowledge yourself so you can win the prize, and then we can move on to the next hashtag game. Mr. Gandy Road, are you here?
Yeah, Dave says it's rigged.
Well, we'll see if Gandy's here. Oh, there he goes. There we go. It's like checking attendance. Actually, you had a funny song about Gandy earlier.
Yes.
The Gandy Man can.
Yeah,
The Gandy Man.
I was kind of, I
You were celebrating the fact that
I was celebrating the fact that I met with Gandy. He was able to get us the package, delivered because we, for Western Kentucky had to overnight it, and they can only ship to Kentucky. So it was like, who do we ship to in Kentucky that can get it to us? And Gandy came up, and Chris handled all that with Gandy and his UPS store. And I met with Gandy this afternoon, and the celebration. You've heard, who can make the sun rise?
I didn't need you to sing it.
The Gandy Man can, right?
You know what I'm going to do one day is I may take that YouTube clip and then dub it and then have him say Gandy Man can.
Yeah, the Gandy Man can. The Gandy Man.
But you know what? We appreciate Gandy. You got us out of a bind along with Chris
you did.
Blankenship.
Yes.
We love you both, and we could not have done tonight without you guys. So
Yes.
very good. Thank you very much, Gandy. All right, next one is hashtag Silk. You all have at it, and this is going to be round 2. Why y'all do that, Jeff? I guess why don't you explain what the heck you're doing here?
All right, what am I doing? You have any ice by chance?
No, I do not.
All right,
Upstairs.
We'll drink these dry, I guess.
Sure.
There's 3 over here, so you must be.
What are you doing? Are these cubes?
So
What of it? That is, those are sugar cubes, yes, with some bitters. What I'm doing is I'm making a maple smoked
Okay, just hurry.
old fashioned.
All right. We don't.
From
It is
Neofew.
Neofew.
Yes,
Is that today's sponsor?
it is today's sponsor. Basically, this is a smoker kit.
Hold on one second.
All
All right. Anyways, we're back.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, while he's doing that, we got hashtag silk. I'm gonna run this pretty quick. So if you aren't in yet, well, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna run this because we got 3 of these we're gonna do.
Yes.
So, all right, hashtag silk. Here we roll.
All right.
I don't mess around.
And the winner is
Brian. He is gonna burn the place down. You are correct.
Miss
Laura J. Nice. Are you here, Laura J?
Congrats.
I'm sure you are because these are brand new hashtags. And again, for those who are new, all you got to do, honestly, if you're in YouTube only, it does not work in Facebook. So you got to come over to YouTube. You got to do hashtag silk. Chat will help you out. But that's all you got to do, and it automatically pulls your name and puts you into a drawing. So yes, Miss Laura J is here.
It is there. All right.
So we will mark her down. She will get. You got some nice samples coming your way.
Very good samples.
That is for sure. And then we got one more giveaway tool that I'm going to do. Give me 1 second. Why he's dude? That's going to take you a half an hour to do. You realize that?
We will try these on Google Meets. Apparently.
Nope, we're good.
That's funny. I bet you I'll be done with everything I'm doing by the time you're done doing whatever it is that you're doing.
I don't know. You're pretty slow too. So
God bless, man.
We ain't gonna go there.
This is why I'm here.
All right, hashtag velvet. Have at it, guys.
All right. So basically, what we're going to be doing is a maple old smoked
And Gandy
old
and Miss Lori J, if you could politely put, I guess, please do not enter.
So,
well, I mean, I guess they could enter if they wanted to, but you know.
Basically, the recipe
get it out
calls
there,
for
but
2 ounces of a high proof. This is 125 proof. That's high.
You're gonna waste an old fashioned on that.
This is 2 ounces.
You know, I wonder how much of a difference if we put that. Like seriously, we got to do one of these experiments. You're putting in a good bourbon right now.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I put in fresh?
You could try that.
No, seriously.
I don't think anything can change fresh.
No, but could I really tell a difference?
Depending on what you used, it may not.
I don't know. Not tonight. We don't have time, but maybe one night we'll do it.
Proof would change. I mean, you use different proofs, but depending on different, I don't know. It'd be a very good.
Now,
that should be a show.
Mind you, I'm not any kind of a bartender whatsoever.
Jay Cornett. I do remember Velvet Jones from SNL. Thank you very much.
So basically, what we got here, you've had your old fashions. Instead of doing a simple syrup, I have
Renstrom
sugar cube with aromatic.
Only
bitters.
Dr. Pepper, apparently.
He doesn't think it helped Double Road.
I don't know. I haven't tried the.
I think Renstrom tried it with the Dr. Pepper.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And that did not have good reviews.
Okay. I hate to hear that. I mean, really,
I do, but you know what? Someone needs to tell them, and our group has basically spoken.
And that's fine. Yes, Tracy and Gandy both have spoken.
And they vetted it, and
we tell them all the time. We are totally transparent. Whether we like it or we don't like it, we're going to tell you.
I really hope that they progress into something better, but as it stands,
we couldn't tell Jeff. You're killing it. I hope that's not a compliment to Jeff, but let's just move on.
So, here we go.
Are we going to try this?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Let's hurry up and get.
Renstrom says Dr. Pepper Regular and Blackberry did not help the Double Road.
Ooh. Okay.
Well.
All right. So I got to do the Patreon real quick, and then we're going to do some ducks. And then we're going to get off this.
So speaking of the ducks, we'll talk about what the premium pours are for tonight. We have the Barrel King Boo Rye Chocolate Cherry.
Which is pretty much the last of it almost.
Yeah, almost. We're almost there. Charlie was gracious to put in Booker's Country Ham.
Oh, yes, the Country Ham. You know why? Because I forget, a couple of people mentioned it last week about never having it, and it is a premium pour. So, so those who are $5 super chat, you could enter. Which, by the way, I'm going to do a poll. I thought about doing it tonight, but I didn't want to switch it up on you guys. I was going to do a poll, and maybe we'll somehow do it here with you guys on here. Let me see. How do I do a poll?
I don't know.
Let's see. Poll. Oh, start a poll. Would you go ahead, Tyler?
Yeah. And the last one, this is actually a bottle that I picked up with Charlie. There's a few that know that Charlie took me down to Cox's Creek Cox Creek.
There,
There we
you
go.
go. Cox's Creek.
Got me on that one.
That's right.
Um,
XS is Cox.
Cox Creek. This is an old rick, but it's a double oaked rare cask, 11 years in a stag barrel. This was delicious. I will tell you that when you go down there, it is hard not to destroy your wallet when you're down there. But that was a great pick, and would love to share it with the lucky person tonight that wins it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm asking the chat here, would you guys rather have a bottle or samples for super chat? And obviously you're gonna the underlying thing as well, it all depends on the sample, it all depends on the bottle. I get all that. But all things being equal, which of them would you rather have? Either a bottle or a sample for super chat? Because I know we do a lot of these samples, and I'm looking to maybe, if you guys are interested, changing it up, and maybe we'll start switching the bottles if chat agrees. But you know, I want to see what you guys decide.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jeffro.
I'm learning as everybody else is right now.
No one else is learning.
Well, I am.
Right. So don't say everybody else is.
Well, they're learning along with us.
I don't think they're learning. I think they just want this night over.
What I'm doing, I've got a cherry wood here, and I'm used to using my lighter. You know, I've got a torch lighter here.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? You're absolutely right. But I have a smoker kit at home myself, and it uses,
do you remember those?
It uses the torch.
Do you remember those State Farm insurance where they give those weird stories of how things how you get a claim?
Uh-huh.
This is one of them, and at least they can see
I
it live.
kind of think of a Fire Marshal Bill.
What you talking about?
No,
Let me tell you something.
You know who Fire Marshal Bill is?
I do. Chris Blankenship says Jeff's cocktails takes about 5 to 10 business days to get ready. You're right. So in the meantime, I'm gonna spin for the Patreon wheel. I'm getting all these spins done while Jeff is doing whatever it is he's doing. So if you guys remember this format, I don't think you do because it's been a month, but let me remind everybody how the Patreon wheel format works. And so far, I think we're doing it correctly. So here's how it works. Depending on the tier that you are on, we are basically giving away gift cards, probably depending on where you live, because I know where all y'all live versus Patreon. You'll get a gift card towards your local liquor store, and you can apply it towards whatever you want to buy there, or hopefully it covers everything that you want to buy, depending on what tier and what bottle you want to buy, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, for instance, last month we tried this and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
CA Scotty was our first guinea pig on this. He won, and because he's the highest tier, he's at $100 level. So he actually won a $100 gift card, and I think it went towards. Oh no! You know what he did? He wanted a credit, and I gave it to him.
Yeah.
Credit towards the old Rick.
Yeah.
So he actually got an old Rick for $100 less.
Which is a
So
great deal.
we still do have the Cedarbrook McBrayer barrel pick. So if someone out there wins like a $70 or $80 or whatever that is, and you guys want to make up the difference, or we credit you the money, whatever that is, and you guys want a free bottle out of that, you guys can do that too. But however you guys want to spend it, it's your choice. Tyler, why don't you give me a number to shuffle the names?
Let's do 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's spin. And then also I have a tier list to tell you how much of a coupon or off you get. It is Pete. So Pete is another top tier.
This is awesome. I'm sorry.
Why are you saying it's off? So all right.
To see.
So Pete wins a $100 gift card, and I'll get a hold of Pete off air, and we'll figure out where he lives, and we'll make accommodations.
Yeah.
So there you go. So congrats, Pete. That being said, that takes care of the Patreon wheel. Are you now ready?
Well, here's the thing.
Good Lord.
It's got great lights.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Nope. That's about right.
Because it does not use a torch. It has its own.
Is it like infrared?
Is it its own heat source?
Its own heat source, but it worked the first time.
Let me see the package.
The package.
Yeah, the box that it came in
my
on.
package.
Let me see the box that it came in on.
Here's my package.
All right, guys, everybody out there, let's just cut to the chase. This electric whiskey smoker by Nufo, Nefuo. Don't buy it. It's crap. There you go.
Thank you.
We're done.
Yeah,
right. Moving on. You good with that review?
I'm good with that review.
All right, very good.
They may not be good with that review.
I don't really care.
But we did it. We tried it. It didn't work.
Right. It is from Temu.
It might be.
It is from Temu. So, all right, very good. So we will do the super chats. I will get that.
cracked open my freaking cherries for this.
That's what she said.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh,
I can't believe I said that. That was too good to pass up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
For those Office fans out there, that was great.
That was bad. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway,
Oh,
I wish I could just take that back.
no, you don't.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
Nephew.
All right. So, anyways, someone keep the chat busy while the camera's on. I just got to do this.
Well, we do have a few announcements that we need to kind of go through here a little bit. Let me turn this thing off. I don't know what the hell's up with that.
Which one did you smoke?
That one.
I'll go ahead.
So, and then Jeff, make sure you check your Venmo too, my friend, and
Yes,
I'll check
I
my
will.
PayPal.
I saw a few there. So
All right, very good. So,
let's see. Note-wise, I did post the April show calendar. Show schedule is out. I posted on all the socials. I think I got it on YouTube. If not, I'll post it up there, but I think I got it everywhere else. Let's see. Something else wants
I don't
chat
like
a
old
little-
fashions.
Hmm?
I don't like old fashions. I
That's
mean,
my
I guess I
go-to.
do, but something tells me this ain't going to be good.
That's usually my go-to drink, but I don't know.
Well, ain't got no ice in it. It's kind of, whatever. But
I need some smoke.
Okay.
yeah. All right. So NCAA Final Four. We have our bracket challenge. We have our top four. We
don't forget, the winner gets a bottle of the Remus, I think.
Yep,
Yes.
Remus.
And then second place gets a sweet rye.
Yes.
The
Silver Springs
Oh,
Sweet
Rye.
Rye.
man, that's a good bottle.
and then third place, I forget what you get. You get something.
That's Sweet Rye. That's a $35 bottle. Oh, God, that's so
Yeah.
good. But here we are. Unfortunately, Gandy is sitting at number one. However, he has Florida. Florida is no longer
Yeah, that's where
Around?
he's going to probably lose ground.
so. We've got C. Barlow at 870 points coming in at second. He has Michigan, and he also has the highest maximum possible
Oh,
points.
so
at
he's sitting pretty
1350.
good.
He's sitting pretty good.
So basically, not basically, but it's like his to lose.
Yeah. Gary McDonald is second place, 20 points behind, but his maximum, again, a little 20 behind Barlow. But and then coming in at fourth, we have Keith Glandon at 840 points. Unfortunately, his maximum that he can get is 1,000 points.
Okay.
But right now, I mean, surprisingly, the top bracket, I mean, Michigan and Arizona, I mean, both number one, number two, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which,
Not
by the way,
surprising.
David Tanko, that Remus is not that. Oh, it's this year's, by the way.
Yeah,
just so
this
you know.
year's Remus.
Yes.
Yeah. But the big surprise was Illinois and UConn. I mean, God, really?
Yeah.
Come on. UConn beating Duke in the last.
Yeah, that destroyed my bracket.
Yeah, it killed me. But so that's where we are. Gandy, Barlow, McDonald, and Glandon. Those are our top four, but it looks like Barlow might be in the lead for that. Personally, amongst.
I know you're going through all this stuff, but I'm really waiting on you for the Venmo. It's holding me up.
Oh, all right. Well, real quick, amongst us,
It's 10 o'clock.
I'm number 8. Charlie's number 10. Tyler's number 15.
Well,
Chad's last because he did not enter a bracket. So
way to go, Chad.
way to go. Let's see. As far as Venmo,
David Renstrom, thank you. You said it all in a nutshell. There's 4 of us with a chance to win the pool. Jeff, look at the forecast.
I'm not winning. I'm not. Don't know.
No, I know what he's talking about.
What are you talking
There's
about?
a forecast in the app. It tells you what your thing is.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, can I get the Venmo, please?
Sure. Venmo. CA Scotty, give him 2. Ms. Ashley, give her 2. Stan Savick, 2. Elijah Craig, 3. Give Elijah Craig 3 more.
Hold on. Thank you, Elijah Craig. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, CA Scotty. I'm going to thank everyone else too who has graciously given tonight. Let's see here. You got 6 total?
Mr. Gerald Romine.
Nope, you got 6 total?
Yes.
Okay.
Gerald Romine, give him 2.
Okay.
Terry Wilson,
Yep.
give him 2. And Miss Tracy Imhoff,
Hey, which, by the way, Terry texted me the other day. I'm sorry, Tracy got what?
2.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll wait till you're done.
Oh, well, I'm not done yet. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vogelsang, give him 4. And at this point, that is all the Venmos that I have.
All right, and I got two ducks for Mr. Where'd it go? Oh, West Virginia Mike, $10. So thank you very much. Going back to Terry real quick. He sent me a text the other day for a possible show. Leather and Oak Spirits.
Yes,
Nice.
Leather and Oak.
I have their card, and they would love to come on. So
Yep,
Jeff,
I've been talking to them as well.
talking to him, he's ready to
they're-
come on.
They're Ohio
Correct.
based. Yes.
So
Wow.
anytime you want to
We're-
book
we're
them,
trying to figure a date.
it's gonna have to be June.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Yeah. I am talking to them about dates.
All right. Very good. Going back to the super chats as far as through YouTube, Mr. Bordner, thank you for giving us your $5 super chat. That Hemingway is a good pour. Killed mine not too long ago. I can see why. Mr. Whiskey Knows, Marty, looking forward to the stream. No kidding.
Yes.
In 3 weeks, we will see you on here. Marty and I we're talking more often. I think everything in general is about relationships. We're trying to get each other to know each other a little bit more. They're a great channel. Whiskey Knows, they are on Tuesdays. Highly recommend them. They seem like great folks. The reason why I think we got involved as much as we did is they are really super fans of McBrayer.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we're
Anybody a friend of McBrayer, a friend of us?
Yes, exactly. So all right, Gandy Road, thank you very much. Did Charlie call me an ass? No, I called
he
you
did.
a mule.
I know. Yeah. I thought you called you that.
No, I called him a mule. Mr. Barlow, thank you as always, buddy. Stories make the strongest connections. Boy, don't they ever.
Yes.
Bravos, gents. Thank you very much. And we love bringing you these distillers on each and every week because, like as Jeff said, we learn along with you guys as well. Husky Dog, I hope things are well with you, brother. $10 to you. 2 ducks. Thank you very much. Mr. Jeremy Dirks, thank God it's almost Friday. You are not kidding, especially with him in the field that he works in. I'm sure he can't wait for a couple more months, and he is on summer break. Mr. Sean Conlon, thank you again for the nice words as far as what a great interview tonight. We thought so as well. Thank you for your 4 ducks there. Let's see here. We have Mr. Dooley. Definitely enjoy the content. Thank you again once again. Cheers, everyone. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these interviews. Miker, nice. Let's win this again. Yeah, you've been on a roll for a little while, so thank you for the 2 ducks. Whiskey Knows, again, there's Marty once again. Thank you for the kind words. And Mr. Moreland, yes, winner, please. I guess you say it enough times, it becomes true eventually.
Winner, chicken
So
dinner.
thank you for the $5 super chat, and hope everything is going okay at home with you, and all the thoughts and prayers to your wife. Mr. Basie, thank you again for the kind words on the great stream.
Yes.
You get a duck. Cheers, you all. Yes, thank you, Frank. Appreciate you coming in. As always, he's becoming a regular lately, and we do appreciate your participation. Mr. Chris Blankenship, thank you above all else for helping us getting the guests that we get on, and he has gotten us out of a jam about 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
So it's all about relationships, and you know, a lot of this stuff cannot go on with people even outside this channel. People like Chris, people like the McAdories, people like Keith Clandon, West Virginia Mike has helped out. A lot of you all have helped out Gandy. A lot of you guys have helped out this channel. And that's why, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're all channels anyway, as we say it. We say it often, but maybe not enough that we should say it more often. So,
Yeah.
And then a couple going sideways. Yep, that's when you know you're on Bourbon and Ballz.
I'll say.
Thank you, Sean. And I can't wait for you to get your picks. So that being said, and then also we got the Plus members, CA Scotty. If you don't know what a Plus member is, they're part of Patreon, but they pay an extra $15 for a super chat every week.
Yes.
So to do the math, you can figure it out how it's probably economical for doing it that way. So anyways, Plus members goes out to CA Scotty, Keith Glandon, Rick Miller, Wilmington Piper, Pete. I would love to know what Pete's last name is. He's known as Pete. Mike Rowe, Ron Thompson, Stan Sabick, Gary McDonald, Jared Romine, Christy Romine, Robert Percival, Gandy, Patrick, Bourbon Sean, Sandy Jones, and Brian Callahan. So that being said, I'm going to put all this together and we're going to do a foodie race. And then we are going to go into Google Meets. If you guys have not experienced it, I would recommend it. Stay on for 5 minutes and figure out you don't like it, which most people, I'm just kidding. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's a lot of us just getting together and kind of.
It's kind of like our own round table.
Yeah, it is. Really, it is. And you actually do learn stuff, believe it or not. You kind of, I always say our Google Meets is a nice focus group on bourbon.
Yes.
It really is. It kind of takes the pulse of what's out there. And believe it or not, I pass that information on to Bill McBrayer. For instance, I think through Google Meets, we talked about his brand, and one of the not I know I wouldn't say complaints. One of the suggestions were made about his cork.
Oh,
So I passed that information on to him.
Yeah.
He can deal with that. He can do with that information what he wants, but it's invaluable and it's free.
Yeah.
It's free feedback.
All right, explain the cork. Is it a synthetic or is it a real?
Well, it's not so much. I believe it's synthetic, but the problem is it's some of the viewers say it's shallow. It needs to be a little bit deeper. So, anyways, my point is, regardless of what the concerns are, Google Meets is a great focus group.
Yeah.
Yes.
In doing that. So, that being said,
Real quick, who won the second soak?
it was Gandy, and then Miss Lori J.
We got Miss Lori J. We have Gandy, and who won the other one? I'll go back through and look. Sorry.
Well, I'm sure Chad has told us by now.
Yep. So we're up to premium pours now. Okay.
All right.
I missed that one. We'll go back.
All right. I'm going to set up the duck race. Hold on one second.
Let's see. While we were doing that, real quick, I want to let everybody know. We talked about Bourbon on the Banks earlier, and Diane, who we're very good friends with, she's the director of the Bourbon on the Banks Festival. They are down to less than 100 tickets. 75 tickets, I think, is what they said.
If you haven't got it now, you better get it now.
Yeah, and there is a 5% Bourbon and Ballz discount code if you want to use it. It is capital B, ALZ 5. And Z is in zebra. That'll get you a 5% discount off of the remaining tickets. Like I said, there's like less than 75. She asked that we get that out there. Other than that, you have Twilight, which is only the last 2 hours from 4 to 6 of the festival. I'm not sure what those prices are, but general admission right now, I think, are $85 a piece, and you get 5% off of that. Less than, like I said, 75 tickets.
Okay. So, I'm going to start this.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
Also, while we're doing this, Kentucky Bourbon Festival, your tickets are going on sale April 14th. Not very long from now. And that sells out fast, as you know.
So real quick, the poll that we ran.
Yes.
56 people voted, and 68% voted for a bottle.
Cool.
I would agree with them.
I would agree.
I would agree with them too. So we'll start doing bottles starting next week.
For our premiums.
Yeah, for our super chats.
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
Also, we talked about this before. Spillway is coming up April 16th through the 18th. That's what we'll be there for. We were going to head down on the 15th, but Chad is keeping us from doing what we want to do. So we will be down there. We will have a discussion on it Sunday.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yep.
And there's going to be a Google Meets 8 p.m. Eastern for Spillway. All right, we're going down last 20 seconds. We got Mr. Mullen out front, Christy Romine. You're a little out way too front. Never happens that way. We got the ramen noodles up. I think it's ramen noodles. No,
Mr. Marlin.
it's soup. We got the bucket of chicken
Oh, here comes
coming,
Scotty.
and we got CA Scotty, the fruit. Pancakes of JD. Who's JD? Eliza Craig. There you go, brother. The cupcake.
Nice. Congratulations.
Is that a cupcake?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That'll rock.
Congratulations, buddy. You are the cupcake for tonight.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. We will get that those samples out to you.
There you go.
And I appreciate everybody being on this evening. And we are going to do Google Meets. I'm going to post it in the chat, and everybody can join. And I think we are now finished. You know what I didn't do once again?
What's that?
I did not fix the Patreon. Remember, I was working on it. And I never.
Yeah. I got a couple fun facts for you, real quick.
Are they really fun?
They're really fun. Did you know that the average salary for an NFL water boy, the water boy,
This is about to make me become a water boy.
you're telling me $53,000
Oh,
a year?
no.
A water boy. You're only playing 16 seasons, 16 weeks.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
There
Okay.
must be some high quality H.
You're not even doing that.
Yeah,
You're not even doing that.
Not even
You're
doing
just
that?
you're just a water boy at the home games, probably.
Right. But you know,
wow.
another fun fact, cheerleaders.
Well, you're not going to be a cheerleader. So
I don't want to be a cheerleader.
we don't want you to be a cheerleader.
Be the bottom of the pyramid.
But the cheerleader salary in comparison to a water boy, $22,000 a year.
I can't help that.
Wow.
All right. Oh, the mailbox. Crap. Yes, I
Mailbox.
love the chat. Thank God.
I also want
Eliza Craig.
One more
We got
thing.
it right here.
Monday Night Football has killed off the doubleheader.
All
They are
right.
no longer going to be doing
All
the
right.
doubleheader.
Here we go. Let's focus.
All right, Elijah Craig, what is your guess for the Gandy mailbox?
Do you remember last week? I sure do. That was a messed up
Yes.
number too. Remember that?
It was, I mean,
Where's it? Where'd you put it at? Where'd you put it at?
did it not save it?
It's Google.
It should automatically save it.
You did not put it in there?
I have another fun fact.
Man, you know, right now with the fun facts, you know what you can do with your fun fact right now? I got
Tots.
Let me.
Tots is making a comeback.
that's awesome. But I'm gonna tell you what you can do with your fun facts here in a minute. Where is the lockbox?
Here, I can-
They're the exclusive NFL trading card partner.
No one is listening.
Sure they are.
No, they're not. They're,
I used to
all
collect
right.
cards
Elijah
all the
Craig
time.
says 132. Stan Sabick said it was 017 last week. Thank you.
Yes. Yep.
Elijah Craig. Okay. And your number is 132. Your number is too high, my friend. 132. However, one of the numbers are correct. So if you guys follow last week and follow this week, it's starting to form a number. So that is all I will say. He's too high. So, all right. That being said, let's break out of this room. All right. Don't forget, we'll be on next week for Independent Staves. Have your question ready. And you guys all have a good weekend. We'll see you on Google Meets. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
There's shit everywhere.